Hey YouTube, I'm here with the Nintendo 64 collection video that everybody's been waiting for. I've decided to do this one first because I do have a complete loose cart set. But so to start this off, we have a boxed system here. It's complete in box. This is the regular edition one. I have a system in there too. Shows off some of the cooler games on the system. Then we have a few systems over here. I have more than this, a lot more than this, but I just pulled a few out. We have Jungle Green, fantastic. The Pikachu edition. And the Smoke Gray, fantastic one. I also have the Ice Blue, fantastic one, or Cool Blue, whatever it is. I have two of those. I have another one of the green ones like this, but I can't get it to work. I have, I think, a couple more working regular ones, and then I do have a bunch that don't work also that I have systems only for. They're all the gray consoles. I actually have like 20 Nintendo 64s also, maybe 21 now. But pretty sweet. I want to get the great purple one and the orange one and the red one, the watermelon one too. So I'm gonna get right into the carts, the game carts. I have 4 containers full of them. So you're gonna see probably 3 cuts throughout the video. I'll do these 2 containers, and then I'll go grab the other 2, and then after that I'll do all the boxes and manuals separately. But in the same video, so they're gonna all be in the same video. So we start off. I've got 2 of these Nintendo 64 cases with games in them. They are Mario Party 3 and Mario Party 2. These cases are pretty cool. They're basically universal game cases without a slip cover. I just ran across them at a gaming store and picked them up. So we got those. And after I show all the games, if I end up missing, 1 or 2 or whatever, they're here somewhere, just misplaced in my house. So I do have them all though. So we'll get started. WWF Attitude, WWF Warzone. Some of them have sticker residue and stuff on them that I have to clean. I just have not gotten around to it. WCW vs. NWO World Tour. WCW NWO Revenge. Ready to Rumble Boxing. This, the cart has some staining on it, so I'll replace it eventually when I find another one cheaply. Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey. Olympic Hockey 98. This one has, like, sticker residue on it still. And some Sharpie, too, from the previous owner. NFL Blitz 2001. NHL Breakaway 98. You'll see a bunch of sports games up front just because that's how they are inside of like containers. We have Aero Fighters Assault, Circuit Pro Bowling, Brunswick, Chopper Attack, Virtual Pool, and then After I show all the games, I'll get to boxes and manuals too at the end. Dark Rift. It's a pretty cool looking game. Have yet to play it though. Wetrix, which is a puzzle game with like bubbles or something. It's actually pretty fun but difficult. Disney's Tarzan. Space Invaders. I love this game. It's awesome. Also, if I have duplicates of games, I have basically all my duplicates separated for sale or trade. I try to keep the best condition copy for myself. To be honest, I'm after mint games, but I mean, it's not very often that you find them anymore. Bass Hunter 64. I'm also after every game complete in box too, which is difficult. NFL Quarterback Club 2000. NFL Quarterback Club 99. Top Gear Rally. It has void stickers and residue and stuff. I have several copies of this game, but this one has the nicest label on it. The other ones are all faded, so I'm keeping this one for now. I can clean that off, but I'm not even going to attempt to get the sticker off of the label. Don't want to damage a label. I've damaged too many labels that way. Wheel of Fortune. Madden Football 64. NFL Madden 99. If it wants to focus, that is. Madden NFL 2000 and 2001. Fox College Sports Hoops 99. This one's in really nice shape. The label's really nice on that. WWF No Mercy. This one's a little more, or way more beat up. So I'll eventually probably replace it. But this might be one that I actually have sealed. So I like to have, if I have a sealed copy, have a loose copy too to play. WWF WrestleMania 2000. ECW Hardcore Revolution. There are many different colored games for the N64. Most of them are the gray color, but there are some that are in black cartridges, blue cartridges. I think there's one or two that are yellow, which is Earthworm Jim and Donkey Kong. And I think there's a couple green ones and a few red ones too. We have Turok Dinosaur Hunter. This is the first one. Turok 2, Seeds of Evil, the black cartridge edition. And here's the gray cartridge edition. I have both of them. Turok Rage Wars. Hey Pikachu. I do have the microphone for this somewhere in a container somewhere. Gran Turismo 64. Cruisin' World. Wave Race 64. This is the Player's Choice edition. Here's the regular edition. The only difference is the label variant right there. Excite Bike 64. This is a really fun game. Love this one. And Wave Race is actually really fun too, in my opinion. Gex 3 Deep Cover Gecko. Cruisin' USA. This is the regular version. There is a Player's Choice somewhere around here. Extreme G. First one. There are two different ones. Here's the second one actually. Yeah, I guess I ended up replacing this. My last copy, the label was pretty beat up on that, so don't remember replacing it. I get so many games, it's crazy. Wipeout 64. 1080 snowboarding. This is a really fun game too. And a really heavy cartridge. This weighs a lot. But when I was selling games, that's actually one that sells pretty quickly too. Bottom of the ninth. This was one of in the last 5 games I needed for the Nintendo 64. It's a pretty hard sports game to find. I actually ended up buying it on eBay. I looked around for it for like 2 years in stores and never found it. So Disney Pixar's A Bug's Life. Mission Impossible. Command and Conquer. War Gods. Blast Corps. Forsaken 64. This one is like I believe it's sort of like a horror type game. Definitely a game that I need to play. Mickey's Speedway USA. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. This is a blue cartridge. And the second one is actually a yellow cartridge. This one's a little more beat up. And there's some sticker on the back. But eventually I'll get a nice copy of it. Kobe Bryant and NBA Courtside. It's the first one. There's a second one too somewhere. Triple Play 2000. Sammy Sosa. Tetrisphere. I really like this game. It's a Tetris-based game in 3D. A lot of fun. NASCAR 99. Focus, man. No. NASCAR 2000. California Speed. Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. Jeopardy. Our Marines Project Swarm. This is a alien infestation shooter type thing. Or not aliens, bugs. Like bug alien things. Rugrats Scavenger Hunt. This is a fun one. Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero. Love Mortal Kombat games. And believe it or not, Power Rangers. I actually like some of the Power Rangers games. There's actually one on the Genesis that I used to play when I was younger. I beat it over and over and over, but I want to get it now. I just don't remember which one it is. So maybe I'll find one eventually. Or I can always go to eBay and figure out what it is, but Iggy's Wrecking Balls. Really difficult game to find for the system. Not too many of them created. Namco Museum 64. Obviously really fun. It's got like Galaga, Galaxian, Pole Position, Dig Dug, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man. Really fun game. Star Wars Rogue Squadron. This is the regular cart also. I believe I have one that also has the player's choice on it somewhere. Gex 64 Enter the Gecko. This card needs to be cleaned, but it's there. Road to World Cup 98 FIFA Soccer. I don't see this very often. I think this is only the first or second copy of this game that I've actually ever seen in a store, so in the wild, like in a gaming store, and I've been to a lot of big gaming stores. Razor Freestyle Scooter, another one that you don't see too often. This one is a Blockbuster exclusive title. So, it's a pretty hard game to find unless you got like eBay or something. And then even then it gets a little pricey. Golden Nugget 64 and Top Gear Overdrive. So that's one container down, guys. And 3 to go. So this is probably going to be a pretty long video, to be honest. But I'm hoping to get it done in less than an hour. It would be nice. We've got Mortal Kombat 4, Duke Nukem 64. This one's actually pretty good in my opinion. Mega Man 64. This game is like jumping in price, probably just because it's a Mega Man game. But if you know Mega Man Legends on the PlayStation 1, this is the same game just on the Nintendo 64. I have both of those. But Carmageddon 64, another pretty hard game to find. It's like a racing game, but it's like, I don't know, it's a different kind of racing game. It sort of reminds me of Twisted Metal. Something like that. Rally Challenge 2000. The only copy of this game I've ever seen in the wild is right here. Some of these games you just never see. So I bought it. I don't remember what I paid for it since I haven't bought any new N64 games in the last year or whatever. So still really nice to finally have a complete set. We have Quake 2. Love the Quake games. Magical Tetris Challenge. I believe this one has like Mickey in it or something, and it is a Capcom title. Monopoly. You know, like everybody's favorite, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. This is the 3D hologram version. I actually had the non-hologram version. I just brought it to the gaming store. I'm like, just trade me. I want the hologram version. So he did, which was pretty sweet. So this is the special edition, collector's edition. And it's in a gold cart. A couple games have gold cards too. This and Pokemon Stadium 2. And then the collector's edition of Ocarina of Time also. Space Station, Silicon Valley. Another game that's really not too easy to find. Alright, we get into a really rare and expensive title here. We have Harvest Moon 64. This thing weighs like half a ton, I swear. This game is ridiculous. It's an RPG. RPGs on any system are usually the games that stay up in value. And they keep raising. So I'm happy that I finished this up when I had the chance because I don't know currently what the price is on this, but when I was collecting to get this game, it was going for like 30-40 bucks, and now I'd have to say it's probably quite a bit more than that. But Micro Machines 64 Turbo, Super Bowling, another game that I actually didn't even find this in the wild. I've never seen this in the wild ever. I had to pick that up online. Alright, we'll get to this one. International Superstar Soccer 2000. One of the most expensive games on the system ever. It's literally like the rarest game on the system, I believe. This game is very hard to find, very expensive. Typically, even looking on eBay, you will never find more than 3 to 5 copies of this game at any given time. It's that hard to find. It was a Mexico exclusive. On Nintendo Age, I ended up getting it from a guy in Mexico. He said that there's somebody he knew who was selling it, so he hooked me up with a good deal on it, which I'm very happy about because this game, even at that time on eBay for a nice copy like this, was like $80 to $100, and I got it for like 30 or 32 shipped or something from Mexico. So thank you for that. Army Men Air Combat in a green cart. I know some of these games that have special colored carts, I think the games are also available in the regular gray version. But those ones in gray version are usually harder to find and more expensive. Chameleon Twist 2, another pretty hard game to find. This one has some tape along the top, like holding the label down. I guess the label is peeling off a little bit, which is upsetting, but there's sticker residue on the back. Snowboard Kids 2, another really rare game. Even at the time when I bought this game, it was going for like 30 bucks. And usually to find a game on the Nintendo 64 that goes for that much is not very likely. There's like maybe 15, 20 games that are worth that much. But really nice game. And Gauntlet Legends, incredible game. My friend and I beat it. We kept playing this every time he'd come over when I lived on my own in my own apartment. This was one of the games we'd play all the time. Love that game. It's a RPG type game. It's a lot of fun. Toy Story 2. International Superstar Soccer 98. I'm pretty sure I made a list, wrote down in a notebook of like 23 games I have for the system that I need to get like better condition copies of. Just ones that have like a lot of damage to them or something. But we have Vigilante 8 Second Offense. It's dirty. I gotta clean it. Winback Covert Operations. Another game I hardly ever see. I think I've seen 2 or 3 of these ever. Cruising Exotica. Dirty again, but I'll clean it. This is the hardest cruising game to find on the system. Pretty pricey too. I actually picked another copy of that off at eBay for somebody who was looking for it to help them out. But here we got Nightmare Creatures. Star Wars Episode 1, The Battle for Naboo. This is probably the Star Wars game I don't see the most. It's like the one I see the least amount of. Miss Pac-Man, this one's in like pristine condition. I actually have the box for this. I will likely put it back in the box eventually, once I can get all these displayed. WCW Backstage Assault, blue cart, really nice shape. This is another one of the rarest games on the system, Transformers Beast Wars, Transmetals. This one has tape over it. I do have another copy of it also that as of right now I'm hanging on to because it keeps going up in price, and I'm not going to sell it for 20 or 30 bucks. I'd rather hang on to it. But you hardly ever see this game online even. There's a few copies on eBay usually, but really, really hard game to find. Virtual Chess 64. Top Gear Hyperbike. Glover. I think I got like 3 copies of this in the box. It's crazy. Or 3 boxes, manuals, or whatever. 007, The World Is Not Enough, blue cartridge. Body Harvest, it's another bug infestation game. 007, The World Is Not Enough, this is the gray cartridge version. I got both of them. The gray cartridge version's harder to find. International Track and Field 2000. Monaco Grand Prix. I think this is the only copy I've ever found of this in the wild, too. Project, I don't know, PGA, European Tour. A little dirty, but I'll clean it. Just haven't had the time, you know. You don't get the time too often working full time to do all this. If you clean games, it takes away from playing games. Quake, great series. Castlevania, this is the original one. There is another one on the system also. Those keep going up in price too. They're good Konami games. Rampage World Tour. And also, cartridge-based games seem to be a lot harder to find than disc-based games. Like, even like Nintendo games compared to PlayStation 1 games. I find a lot more PlayStation games than I do like Nintendo games. This game, I know I have multiple copies of it on the PlayStation, and this is probably one of two copies I've ever seen in the wild on the Nintendo 64. So, a lot of games you really don't see often. And Snowboard Kids, the original, and this is an Atlas title. Very awesome games, cool games, expensive games. They're going up in price. If you can pick them up at a good price, pick them up, because they're going to go up in price big time. Big Mountain 2000. Once again, the only copy I've ever seen in the wild. I think it's a snowboarding game. It's in really nice shape. Bassmasters 2000, blue cartridge. Duke Nukem 0 Hour. One of 2 or 3 copies I've ever seen in the wild. And I'll be back in a sec.